I'm fucked up, but I'm packing for the ride. You're going to love this, okay? So I take 3 strips the night before I leave. I balloon them, and I cram them in my butt.
Hold
okay?
on.
Let's be honest. You get with a chick, you don't want to spend all your time with her. You want to go hang out with your homeboys. So what am I doing? I'm making money, these 2 broads, and then I go hang out with a bunch of dudes at night. It's not bad.
In the jail.
In the jail.
How many years have you spent in jail?
Total 6 now.
How many years have you spent in addiction?
Eternity, it seems like. I mean, hell, I was born hooked, so, I mean.
This is episode 1 of Choppn It Up with Eric Fravel.
Okay.
So, what's up, man? Where are you from? What's your name? How old are you? Tell us a little bit about your...
Eric Fravel, Dale City, Virginia. Inmate number 1250640. Okay, I was born addicted to heroin and alcohol. Right out of the gate. Had to detox. That sucks, I'm sure. Can't remember any of it, of course, because I'm a baby. Abuse, blah, blah, blah. I get adopted when I'm 4 years old. As soon as I'm adopted, I have emergency surgery to remove a hernia that I've had since birth. Had my balls as big as a grapefruit. Kind of proud of that at 4 years old.
Wow.
Super balls, yeah. And really all it is my guts had fallen into my ball sack. So yeah, I did that. I'm sure that was pretty traumatic. I remember bits and pieces of being in the hospital in that one. Let's see. Born hustler. Absolutely. Okay. Started out selling candy.
Dude,
in
that's
the
a
first
birthday
grade.
thing. That's a birthday thing.
Yeah.
That's an Aquarius thing.
Yeah, absolutely. Yeah. I had to get money no matter what. Family, after they adopted me, they didn't really have much money. There's 3 kids. Everybody's got to eat, but we didn't have shit. I'm sure there are people worse off. But you know what I mean?
Sure. But I don't think a whole lot of people are born addicted to heroin. I feel like that's kind of fucked up.
Yeah, it definitely starts, the shit's kind of stacked against you at that point.
Yeah, for sure.
So I hit my teenage years, got, my best childhood friend I grew up with. It was like an older brother to me. I'd known him since I was 9. I'm 16 years old. He gets cancer. And within 6 months, goes from like 5'9" of like 190 pounds to 63 pounds. Skeleton, dies. Got to see all that.
Wow, as a teenager.
Yeah, that was.
So rewind a little bit. Like, how's family life though? Like, how's
family's awesome?
What was mom and dad?
Mom and dad were great. They were great parents. Especially I'm sure for like my brother and sister, like normal people, so they're fully functional. Parents were successful parents. I was just deeply damaged, so it wasn't. I don't think there was much that anybody could have done to help me.
Right, so they're bringing you up right through your teenage years, but once you get to where you can do what you want, you start making choices that...
Terrible choices.
Not things you were taught.
Yeah, exactly. You're going absolutely against.
So this guy that had cancer and died, how was he part of that? Was he part of that, or he was just a friend that you
He lived 2 doors down from me. Like, we spent we were together all the time. You know what I mean? Like, did everything together, and he definitely was not a good influence. His brother was like a gang leader, and he was into all that shit. And I'll never forget, like, before he died, he told me he was going to die, and I'm like, I'm 16. I'm like, no, you're not, dude.
Right.
I just want to tell you everything I ever told you was wrong. And I was like, what? What does that mean? And, now I get it. He was saying that this lifestyle was not the right way to live.
So at that point, you were already doing what? Y'all were already getting high? You were already...
Yeah. Okay. I started smoking weed. He didn't want me doing anything else, though. Just weed.
Okay.
I drank a little bit here and there. I didn't even drink much. And
probably harder to get alcohol than it was weed, though.
Yeah, back then. Without a doubt. So he dies, and I immediately go off the rails. I'm tripping balls within months, eating acid, selling coke, doing coke. I had already been selling weed, So
you still end up making it to high school, though?
Oh, yeah. Well, I was in high school, until I got expelled. I got expelled after I robbed my first store, because, I think I'm a brilliant mastermind, smarter than any cop.
Of course.
To be fair, they called me a 17-year-old mastermind in the newspaper. I went in at night, through a window that had no sensor, lucked out, got the window that had no sensor. They thought
didn't even know about shit like
that. I had no idea there were any sensors. I just got lucky. So I go in, I get into the safe and get $4,000. At 17 years old, $4,000 is like $1 million, especially back then, And I'll never forget running down the street with that 4,000 in the backpack. Dude, that was higher than I've ever been in my life.
Oh, that's the most money you ever seen.
Oh
it was
my
like
God,
an
bro.
amazing amount of money.
Yeah, and the fact that I just fucking broke this window, got into the safe, you know, like...
I'm a genius.
Yeah, exactly. I'm smarter than everyone. Exactly.
Yeah, dude.
Exactly.
Yeah.
Yeah, so...
what are we going to do today, brain?
Mm-hmm.
Taking over the world.
That's exactly how it was, too. And, of course, you know, I'm dragging my little friends with me. They're from the other side of the tracks. And what happens? They fucking tell on me.
Oh.
You know what I mean? It's like, that's the first instance.
Yeah.
The second
So
time...
they told on you for that robbery for the $4,000?
Yeah.
Okay.
Yeah, definitely. You know, they were...
And then what happened, like, trouble-wise for that?
After that, you know, I didn't even realize I'd been told on. So after that, I go to rob the second store. This time I'm going to do it at gunpoint. Okay.
Oh, Jesus Christ.
So because I've done the math because I'm
Right.
such a fucking genius. There's $200 per register at least.
Okay.
That's what you need to make change back.
Okay.
Okay. This is a minimum. There's also a safe in the store. There's three registers in a safe at a Funko Land. Okay. This is where you used to, you know, buy and sell fucking video games and videos. And so I go in there. Well, first of all, I have a sawed-off shotgun. Okay, and then what looks
How
like
old
a
are you?
9.
How old are you right now?
17, still 17.
17 with a sawed-off shotgun.
Yep, and another piece that looks like a 9.
Okay.
It's not a 9. So I go in the store. I did not bring the sawed-off shotgun, which I of course lovingly named Betsy. No, I didn't bring that. I left that in the car because it was too cumbersome. I go in the store with what looks like a 9mm. It's actually a BB gun.
And doesn't have the round tip or nothing on it, though?
Back then they didn't have to have the orange tips.
Right, because it wasn't all that safety
Yep.
shit.
So I go in there, and there's like this little retarded, disabled girl or whatever in the store, right? And she's obviously like not all there, right? She's doing like playing games and shit, and I'm all like decked out, looking like a goddamn what I think is a Spanish gangster at the time. You know, like I'm thinking I'm throwing the cops off with my appearance. And I'm wearing sunglasses at like 9 o'clock at night. Yeah, like
In the dark.
in the dark, dude.
Probably got black hoodies on.
Yeah, I mean, dude, I was all the way fucked up. Okay, so this
So
kid,
slick they'll never see me because I'm wearing all black.
exactly. I'm
So
already,
there's a person in the store there.
yeah, playing video games, and I can't get them out of the fucking
it's
place.
It's a video game store for kids.
Yes.
That you're robbing.
Exactly.
And there's a little mentally disabled kid in there.
Yes, it couldn't have gone worse.
Okay.
So I'm waiting for the little retarded girl to leave because, you know, as soon as I pull this gun out, you know, I don't know what the fuck she's going to do, but I can't shoot her.
Right,
I mean, what the fuck
If
am I
she
hit her with
acts
a
up,
BB? Yeah,
okay.
exactly. She could go all the way wrong. Bro, I wait there long enough, the manager's already gone in the back and called the cops. Next thing I know,
Here
they
come the police.
swarm in there,
Oh,
bro.
Lord.
Oh, my God. I got a cop with his fucking pistol against my fucking temple going,
From behind.
please move. I want to shoot you. This is what he says. And I'm like looking at the other ones like, get this motherfucker away from me. This guy's fucking crazy, bro.
Right,
What's
right.
wrong with him?
Wow.
Yeah. Good times.
And
So
you're only 17, 16?
I might have gotten.
He just
I
wants
was 17 to 18 because I definitely got arrested on that one. And you know, back of the car,
He
dude. I'm
just wants
telling
to
you,
put it on you.
he definitely did. Like
Wow,
you know,
okay.
I'm sure I had like a little ring mark
so
in
you
my
get
temple.
busted, and then
I get bailed out. My parents bailed me out on this one. I think they did. I get this fucked up all the time. Yeah, they bailed me out for this one. I go home and they kick me out of the house.
okay.
So I'm talking to this chick, of course, because women are, you know, the root of all evil, really, at that age. So this chick's like, oh, I got my ex-boyfriend's garage code. They won't mind if you stay there. They're on vacation for a week. I know the ex-boyfriend, too. He doesn't like me because this is his girl that I stole from him.
Okay.
So I'm like, fuck it, whatever. I'm going to go stay in this fucking place, right? I get it. Of course, you know, I'm fucking 17, 18 years old. I think I'm 18 at this point, like just barely. And I'm out on bond, okay? I throw a fucking party in the house because what do? You've got a whole place to
Right, of
yourself
course,
at that
of
age,
course.
you know? You like to get high and drunk. So I throw a fucking party. Man, there's holes in the fucking wall, puke all over the carpet,
One of them
dude.
teenage parties.
Yeah, oh, bro, this
that's how
shit
they
was
work.
wild as fuck, right? And it went for days. And so at the end of this, you know, we all bail at the end, you know, barely cleaning anything up. Dude, the parents come home, and I guess there's shit missing. Like, there's power tools missing that somebody went and
They done
pawned.
stole, too.
Yeah, so I get hit with these fucking, you know, for breaking and entering. Of course, I did do that because I broke the plane of the door. So as soon as I did that, it was breaking and
entering. Even though she told you could borrow it?
Exactly. Even though I went in with the garage card, I got a breaking and entering, and I got the grand larcenies. I got a B&E and grand larceny for each thing that got pawned. Here's a fucked up part. I didn't even know nothing got stolen. My name's not on the pawn shop ticket, bro. They've got, like, one of my buddies' names is on the pawn shop ticket. But what happens? These little rich kids point at me, and sure enough,
I'm the same rich kids that told on you.
Yes,
Jesus Christ.
Absolutely.
So you're really stupid at this point because I
didn't know they told the first time.
Okay.
Yeah, you know what I mean?
So now they've done told twice.
Yeah, and now I know.
Good friends.
So
Great friends.
I go into jail. Okay, well, the first robbery, I ended up, my consequence was that I was to pay the insurance premium for the place that I robbed. Well, I lucked out. They had no fucking insurance.
Oh, wow.
So I just got lucky and skated. Now, that was at 17 as a minor. As soon as I turned 18 with the Funko Land shit, I go in again, or I get out on bail. And then while I'm on bond, I get hit with these fucking B&E and grand larcenies.
From Funko.
No, from the house. Because I was already out on bond.
Okay, gotcha.
I go in again. Okay. My buddy bails me out this time because my parents aren't going to do it. Dude, I get out and I'm pissed off because I just got hit with charges for shit that I didn't even do.
Right.
You know what I mean? I'm like, hell no, this is not cool. So I'm thinking in my mind, because I'm so smart, double jeopardy can't apply. So I'm going to go rob these motherfuckers. So what do? I go in a fucking window and I steal the guns out of the house. Yeah. So I got like a 22 Ruger, a 357 Ruger.
From the place that everybody else stole shit.
Yeah. Well, I mean, I knew where the good shit was. You know what I'm saying? Fuck your little power saw and shit. I'm stealing the guns.
Oh, this shit. Okay.
So I steal the guns. There's an investigation, okay? At this point, I'm about to get sentenced. Oh, and on top of that, on twice I'm out on bond at the same time. I end up going in for 3 months. This is my first bid, and now I'm a fucking hardened criminal. I'm a badass. You know what I'm saying? Bro.
Yeah, you come out with that chip on your shoulder, because you were scared to go in before you went in.
Yeah.
But then once you come out, you're like, psst,
it ain't shit.
That ain't shit.
Exactly.
Which is a bad thing. So you come home from there. What are you doing then? Are you on probation?
I'm on probation. I have been told that I must stay out of this zip code, this entire neighborhood that I burgled and, had the witnesses in it, because, I'm going by this guy's house one day. And he throws his fucking hands up at me. And this is the guy that tells on me. Skrrr! I come to a screeching halt, dude. And I'm sprinting straight at him. And he runs inside. Dude runs straight inside, calls probation, dude. Calls my PO.
Yeah.
Yeah, and I'm like, he runs inside. I'm not kicking in no doors or nothing. I'm like, oh, this fucking pussy. So I roll on out. And sure enough, next time I see my PO, they're like, you need to stay out of that zip code. Yeah, I get
all together. So they kept you out of there.
Yeah.
And then where's the drug habits going from there? Because I feel like that's been...
let's see. That time I got out, and I was good for about 3 months. My folks had moved, and they let me move in with them after I finished the bid. And so, I guess it was about 6 months after that. I was good. I didn't do nothing. And then I get back together with the girlfriend that I was with before, and sure enough, I'm hitting raves, I'm hitting fucking fish shows, dead shows, everything, bro.
That's where the good drugs are.
Exactly. And so then I end up moving in with her just down the road, and then I find Dilaudid, which, if anybody knows Dilaudid, they know that God
They're the devil.
Dude, it's like
They're
nectar.
the devil.
It's God's nectar.
Yes. It's so horrible for you, though.
It really is.
It's so great
bad.
And so bad.
Exactly. So I spend 8 months strung out on Dilaudid. I did not even know anything about addiction, detox, nothing. It's still a party to me. I think I'm 19 years old at the time. And then my Dilaudid dealer moves without telling me.
Right, but you're on there for 9 months. No way you didn't feel sick somewhere in between there.
I did
I know you're using every day, but how are you gauging how much to use if you're not ever feeling this?
Oh, no, I felt sick. Unpleasant. I'm getting a little sick here and there, but I've always got shit.
Understanding that this is going to be fucked up.
Well, I didn't realize the extent of how fucked up it would be.
Okay.
So after 8 months, I'm strung out on these Ds, and the dude just up and moves. Doesn't say a word. And there I am. And I've never done heroin. I don't know anything about anything, really. I just found this cool-ass drug, and I'm on it for a while.
Right.
Selling it, doing it, whatever. And so I detoxed for the first fucking time in my entire life.
Sick as hell.
Oh my God. And
I'm
you
dying.
know, pharmaceutical
You're
sickness
dying.
is no joke.
Yeah, you're dying.
You know what I'm saying? Like,
you feel like you're going to die.
Oh my God, without a doubt. You know, I'm like throwing up in the toilet telling the old lady, call my brother because I'm going to die.
Yeah, it's bad.
Yeah, so then I started shooting coke.
Okay. So you were shooting Dilaudid too, or you were?
No, I was shooting the coke all by itself because the D-man was gone. So
right. So when you had the Dilaudid, though, were you shooting it, or were you just?
Oh hell yeah, I was
it?
shooting.
Good Lord,
all day,
already.
every day. Yeah.
Already, like
yes,
a pin
went straight
cushion.
to it. Didn't even try popping a pill.
Huh.
Shooting Dilaudid. Before that, I think I'd eaten some Percocet. Maybe, you know, I hadn't even sniffed dope yet. I went, you know, ate some Percocets, ate some Vicodins to shooting Dilaudid.
Right.
And then, you know, I end up, let's see, after that, I'm shooting coke. I hadn't really gotten into dope yet. Then I moved to PA. Okay, and this is right in the middle of the opioid epidemic. I did not realize that PA was one of the starting points.
This whole area right here was.
It's crazy. Like PA, West Virginia, it's basically all minor territory.
Minor territory
this
for
is when
sure.
Oxycontin hits the field, dude. So, dude,
Worst drug ever.
Yeah,
Best
absolutely.
drug, worst drug, horrible.
Absolutely.
Like if you haven't seen the Hulu, have you seen the Hulu thing, Dope Sick? So there's one on Hulu called Dope Sick, and there's one on Netflix called Painkiller. They're both miniseries, like 8 episodes, but they fucking kill it, man. They do a great job of, and them pharmaceutical companies didn't get nothing from all that, bro, but money.
Yeah,
they
facts.
got millions and millions and millions of dollars, and no one ever was accountable.
They had to pay like billions in the lawsuit or whatever, but that only scratched the surface.
It was nothing. It was nothing compared to what they were making.
It was like me robbing that store and having to pay the insurance premium. You know what I mean?
Nothing.
It's exactly like that.
It's nothing. It was nothing. Nobody went to jail. All these people, hundreds of thousands of people. But anyway, so the Oxy epidemic is happening. And
I'm in there, okay, and I, of course, am a man whore. So, like, I moved into an area. I'm working in an office that has nothing but women in it, and I'm like a semi-attractive guy. And there's only maybe 7 guys to choose from in the entire building, right? So I'm running through them, and they love me. Every fucking day, dude, women would come by my desk and just throw pills on my desk. Every day. I get hooked up with one where I'm kind of like, she's my girl on the side because I've moved my girl and my daughter back in from back home. And, dude, this broad, big, dumb bottles of Oxys. And I'm burning them up. I mean, burn them up.
Yeah,
oh, dude, it was terrible. It was terrible. So then,
about 120 pounds walking around.
Yeah, oh yeah, thinking I'm the hottest thing in the world too.
Shitting once a month.
Yep, that's it.
Yeah.
That's it. And then I end up losing that job. I mean, and this is when I start getting into dope. Because now I've been introduced to it.
Heroin was still heroin.
Yeah, exactly.
And it was cheaper than Oxys.
Yeah, without a doubt.
If it was good, it was better. I mean, you could get high 4 times instead of 2.
So I'm doing dope. I'm fucking getting pills. Like, I got a buddy out in Arizona that's FedExing me pills all the time, you know, because back then FedEx didn't really scan shit. You know, back then you could get away with murder in the mail. Now it's a little bit different. But, so yeah, that's really where, you know, the addiction started to kick in.
Well, the Oxys made it worse.
Oh, without a doubt.
Yeah, the heroin comes in, and then you're...
That was only a small jump to the heroin.
How old are you at this point? You're using
shit,
heroin and Oxy, so this has got to be the 90s.
Yeah, I was probably...
It's got to be mid-90s, because Oxys was popular mid-90s.
No, early 2000s.
Yeah, well, I went to prison in 03. I robbed a pharmacy in 98.
I never did the drugstore cowboy thing. Always wanted to, though. Not anymore.
So that was 98. I would say it had to be 95 or 96 when it was around here. And what's crazy is because in those stories on Hulu and Netflix, they talk about this area, not Winchester specifically, but Pennsylvania and the minor territories and West Virginia, which is all where a lot of it started.
So I end up hooking up with a dude that fucking has dope when I get back home, and I just start sampling. You know, I'm just doing a little bit here and there because I've never really gotten into heroin. You know what I mean? But I don't have any pills. Buddy hasn't sent me pills from Arizona for a while, so then, okay, I'm going to go ahead and try this. I like it. You know, of course I like it. Anything that makes me feel better. Good. Exactly. So that begins. And keep in mind, the entire time, I'm selling shit. You know what I mean? Because that's just...
Yeah, that's what happens when you get to that point. You're getting rid of everything to keep your habit maintained, especially if you don't have a job.
And, I mean, I usually maintained a job for a while.
But still, at the same time, too, when you're born hustling, you know how to hustle, sell, do something.
Yeah,
I
so
found
my
a way
shit's
to
free.
make money.
Yeah.
Until I got to the point to where my habit was $250 a day.
Oh, yeah.
And then I just, like, you done sold out of everything, and then what do you fucking do?
Mm-hmm. Well, back then, so I get good and not really good and strung out. I detox a few times. I used to actually force myself to detox back then to maintain a cheaper habit, and this makes sense in my mind. I go sick for a couple days without using anything, then I can get high again, and it costs the same amount that it would originally, because I know that, over time, you need more and more and more. I've started figuring this out. So, I got my daughter, my ex, we're all living together, and I've got this habit, and then I move my homeboy in, the habit only gets 10 times worse. So we end up having to move back in with my folks, and my folks put me out. Just dropped me off out in Winchester, Virginia. Okay. And I know a couple people, so this dude lets me ride on his couch for a little while, right? And I'm fucked up in the game, bro. I'm loving coke, I'm loving dope, you know what I mean? And I've got a fucking habit, and I'm just a piece of shit.
And when you're sitting here right in this area, I'm sure it wasn't hard to get shit. You got Baltimore on one side. You got
well, at this point, I got
County
no
on the
car,
other side.
I have no money, I have no nothing. I just laying on this guy's couch, and then I start hearing about a rehab in town. And so I'm wandering around the town, just fucking depressed, because you know how depressed you get when you're kicking and shit, right? So I'm wandering around hoping I'm going to find something, right? So I'm on these train tracks, staring down a fucking train. And then I realize, I look over, and goddamn if there isn't a rehab right there, bro. Right there. And I just kind of stepped off the train tracks and walked in. It was like, I need some help.
Right. I don't know how to do this, but I'm fucking over it.
Exactly. And they were cool. They fucking told me to go stay at Salvation Army, and they'd take me for a day program. Bro, I ended up being there for 44 days. I was supposed to be there 45, but on the 44th, I got caught banging a chick on the wash machine.
Okay.
And they frowned on that.
Yeah, they didn't like that.
No, so they kicked me out. And, it was my first introduction to recovery, sobriety. Is that what
Did you see that fucking?
I saw it.
Dude, I'm gonna kill it.
I saw it's there.
Where is it? Okay, so if I just smack you on the forehead, it's because
what happened.
That thing just landed there.
As long as don't leave a smudge.
Anyway, sorry, didn't mean to.
No worries. So this is my first introduction to rehab, and I end up patching things up, I guess, with the rehab, so to speak. And they sent me to this halfway house. I'm in this halfway house maybe a week, and this dude, I'm riding with him because I don't have shit yet, and I'm riding with this dude, and he's like, you want to smoke some crack? And I'm
Good Lord, yeah. Just got out of rehab.
Fucking right, I do.
No. See, that's the Eric I know. That's the Eric I know.
Yeah.
I just did 45 days in rehab, and somebody's got crack, and you're all over.
Bro, I wasn't even looking for nothing. He just kind of hit me you're in the car, and he just hits me. He's like, want to smoke some crack?
Now you're cracking out. You're cracker jacking.
And I've got this rehab shit in my head, all this recovery shit and whatnot, bro. And I've got a sponsor. I did what they told me to do, because at this point...
all the way to the point of smoking crack.
Yeah, well, and then I'm like, well, fuck yeah. So what do I do, okay? I then the next day, cocaine, you feel guilty.
Okay.
After you do coke, right? After you stay up all night doing some coke, then for some reason there's always some guilt that hits me for something.
Okay.
So the next day I'm like, I've got to tell my sponsor. I totally could have got away with it. Nobody knew about it, right? So I walk up to this fucking guy.
But you got sobriety beating on your brain.
Yeah, absolutely. I am a piece of shit. I have to admit my wrong, right?
You are.
So I go tell the sponsor, and he goes, man, I don't know. We got to talk to my sponsor.
He didn't even know what to do.
No.
Okay.
So we go talk to his, and he's like, you need to go tell your PO. Don't worry. Honesty is the best policy. And I'm biting on this shit, bro. I'm like, okay, I'm going to do it. I'm going to tell on myself. You know what I'm saying? This is how fucking stupid I am. Me. Yeah, exactly. PO doesn't want to see me. Halfway house doesn't know.
In all actuality, if they might lock you up, but if you're trying to get help and you want people on your back to keep you clean, then that's the type of shit you want to do. So if you're hiding your drug addiction, then
they'll turn their back on you quick.
Yeah, they're gonna fuck you.
So I tell my PO, what do you think he does? He fucking locks me up for 2 months
over one hit of crack.
Yeah, for failing the program. The halfway house that I'm in was 1 violation, 30 days. Dirty urine that I openly gave him, another 30 days. what the fuck?
Thanks, sponsor.
Yeah, exactly.
I appreciate you.
Honesty's the best policy. You know?
Can I please get another one of those 2 months?
I'm like this fucking recovery martyr. You know what I mean?
Jesus.
I fucking crucified myself. Like,
Right.
it's okay. You know? What the fuck? So I get out. They send me back to this halfway house when I get out, bro. And like, dude, I've been to this rehab 4 times. I've been to this halfway house 4 times. Like, we've burned that bridge.
Right.
You know what I mean? Would they take me back? Probably. I know everybody out there, you know what I mean?
Yeah.
So, well, look, we're going to fast forward a little bit. I inevitably get strung out, okay? I get with this chick. She's cool. She's from recovery, whatever. And what do? I turn her into a dope fiend. You know what I mean? Because that's what I do, you know? So I'm slinging big dope. Well, for this area, I'm slinging big dope. And then this continues for, it was 24 till I was about 32. From 24 to 32, I maintained a pretty healthy habit, okay? And I've got her as an ex now, too. I married her, divorced her. I get with another chick that, was less than faithful. So what did I do? I shot her up, bro. This bitch, basically, her boyfriend comes to my door to let me know that she's cheating on me. She takes off out the door. I'm such a piece of shit that I call her cell, and I was like, it's okay, baby. Why would you think I believe anything he says? And all I'm thinking in my mind is, I'm going to get you, bitch. So she comes on back to the house. I'm not going to beat her. That's not me. You know what I mean? I'm not even going to confront her about cheating. What do? I introduce her to heroin and cocaine in a syringe.
Oh, Lord.
Yeah. So, of course, that goes on for the next year.
Milkshake in there.
Yeah. And
so you just forgive her for fucking around on you and just start shooting her up with dope.
No, my thought process was different. You may have done me dirty, but you will never forget me, bitch, because I'm that dude that introduced you to death.
You're such a horrible person.
I know.
God,
I
you're
know.
a fucking scumbag. Why did I even bring you here? This is supposed to be a family show.
Well, I mean, I have definitely destroyed some families in my time. Jesus Christ,
not the
including
destruction of a family show.
So
you and this chick, you got her strung out.
Yeah,
you're a scumbag.
And I left her in a fucking parking lot.
Scumbag.
A year later, I left her in a parking lot to fend for herself. Okay, and then like I'm hustling a little bit, and I've got my main competitor in town. He and I, decide to join forces. And we'll just, run the same dope at the same price everywhere, right? This is the same thing the gas companies do. You know what I mean? So this is a smart idea. We're going up to Baltimore every day, dude. I have an 8-ball-a-day habit. I'm doing 3.5 grams a fucking day.
That's a lot, ain't it?
Yeah. So this fucking guy gets busted by the task force, right? I've managed to, do my little tidbit hustling for 16 years successfully without ever getting arrested for it. And this motherfucker wears a wire on me, bro. The task force actually sat outside my house for 6 months. I'd go out on the porch and flip them off every fucking morning, thinking I'm like Gotti or something. I'm untouchable, right?
Yeah. You had a shot-off shotgun when you were 17. You're
I'm a badass, bro. I've done time. You guys can't hurt me. So they ended up getting me through this motherfucker. You know what I mean? And they had a couple controlled buys. Like one was my buddy that he had left my apartment and did the drop for me, and another one was the old lady at the time, the girlfriend at the time. So they're like, Eric, you gonna let all these people go down? I'm like, nah, go ahead and give me all the charges. So I took, I got 3.
Because you're such a great guy.
Well, my buddy had just had kids for the first time, and he was moving my dope.
Just give me all the... and at the same time, too, if they're just going to do the same time...
Yeah.
We're all getting 10 years apiece.
Yeah, go ahead and hit me with it. Fuck it. And of course, the old lady, I've never been like, I'm not that dude that's going to send my old lady to jail.
Definitely not going to bring your old lady with you.
Yeah, so I take all the hits. I then go back to rehab with a 3.5 gram a day habit, bro. I'm laying on a fucking couch in there for 5 days. They had to make me leave to go to meetings because I wouldn't go. I refused. They were like, what do you mean? I was like, I know everybody. I cannot walk down a street out here without being able to score. I'm trying not to get high anymore. So, they accommodated me to a certain point, and then we're like, okay, look, we'll roll with you, but you're going straight there and straight back. This worked. I made it through the 30 days. I think I went to one of their houses that time, which is like a halfway house type of setup or 3/4 house. Went into an Oxford house, stayed clean for like 2.5 years that time. Well, the whole time I've got all these distros hanging over my head. Now we've got bid number 2 coming. okay? Because for the next year, I know that they're going to hit me. They've already told me I'm getting charged. They just don't know when they're going to hit me with it. So, I don't know, it's sealed or whatever the case is, I'm basically out on bond doing all this recovery shit, trying to lighten my sentence because I know I'm going in front of the judge again. So, I, of course, get with this chick in recovery because that's the smartest thing you could fucking do. I had a guy tell me it was like fishing in a fucking cesspool. It is.
Yeah.
So, she's my son's mother, by the way.
God.
Yeah, absolutely bipolar. I love her to death, but she's scary crazy, bro. So
That's why you loved her.
I
Something
didn't
about you
know.
and my friends and crazy women. Did y'all just have that in common?
I did not know. Because everybody's got party manners when they first meet. You know what I mean? So I'm with this broad for a year before I go, and we're living together, everything, bro. You know what I'm saying? Everything's cool. She knows I'm getting ready to get hit and go to jail. Bro, I get it all set up because back then you could do work release, house arrest, you know what I mean? You can get sentenced to it. So I get sentenced to a year of fucking work release and another year on house arrest. So I'm never really gone. You know what I mean? This is an awesome bit I'm going to do. I get a job at a restaurant so that I can see anybody whenever. I can eat good food. I'm made in the shade, bro. I've got this all planned out. Bro, 30 days into this bid, I call home, and this broad goes, I just want you to know I've fallen in love with another guy, and I want to fuck him. And I, of course, I'm a piece of shit. So this is how I handle it. That's okay. I understand. Can you do me a favor, though? Keep my apartment, because I got a little ways to go before I get house arrest. I'll just keep giving you money. You keep my apartment. Okay, Eric, I am so sorry. I'll totally take care of that for you. Thank you so much for being so understanding. Bro. So, and all I'm thinking is, do whatever the fuck you want. Just make sure I got a place to go.
A place to live.
Yeah, exactly. Home, you know? My priorities are straight. Yours are fucked up. So, the very next day, I walk into this restaurant. And I'm like, I am going to pick the best of breed here. And this is what I'm going to spend my next year fucking with. I hear this chick laughing, and I'm like, I like that. Dude, I walk up to this fucking hostess, right? And I say to her, I said, I just want you to know I thought about you when I fucked my old lady last night, and you were awesome. What the fuck? Word vomit, bro. Absolute word vomit. Because you've been around me long enough to know that I'll just spit some dumbass shit out. Bro, I spit it out. I'm on work release. Just got on work release. It's like I can see the words leaving my mouth, and I'm like, I just want to pull them back in. Exactly. I'm like, back of my mind's like, sexual harassment, you're getting fired. Right? And there's like this awkward pause. And then she laughs her ass off, bro. And I'm like, oh, thank God.
Right.
Thank God.
Shit.
So, rule number one, if you can make her laugh, you can make her panties fall off.
Okay.
It's the truth.
All right.
So I end up getting with this chick.
Giving advice now.
No, I mean, it's the truth.
It is. It's got to be funny. If you're not funny, it's just not going to work.
Yeah, hang it up, bro. I know some stupid fat motherfuckers that are funny as hell and get banging broads.
Wait a minute. Look at Jelly Roll.
Yeah, I mean, it just, he's kind of depressed.
Yeah, but he's still a funny dude.
Is he?
Yeah,
I'm thinking more like John Candy or like Chris Farley.
Yeah,
dudes
but
like
they're
that can have whatever
millionaires,
they
too.
want.
I'm talking about you got to have people that are just normal guys.
Bro, I've known some normal
Me
fat
too.
dudes
And
that
you
were
look
funny.
at them, you're like, how in the fuck does that dude get that girl?
Yeah. So
They're not as vain as us.
I'm getting with this broad who's with another guy, has 3 kids. This is a success story waiting to happen. Don't you know it? Well, of course, like, I'm still fucking with my ex-old lady that has my apartment, and I'm banging her here and there, I'm banging the new one here and there while I'm on work release, living my best life, getting fucking high, you know what I mean? Like, this was not a consequence. I was living a great life, because, like, let's be honest. You get with a chick, you don't want to spend all your fucking time with her. You want to go hang out with your homeboys. So what am I doing? I'm making money, fucking these 2 broads, and then I go hang out with a bunch of dudes at night. It's not bad.
In the jail.
Fuck it. Playing poker for 1 day a week that I can't go out.
It's kind of weird because I remember thinking about it like that a couple of times too when I'd be doing work release time. As long as you was getting laid and getting high and you just came back there and slept. It was like,
Yeah, it was the best life.
I don't know about the best life.
Bro, how much do you
But it
pay for
wasn't
work
horrible.
release?
It wasn't near shit. We paid a lot, but it wasn't near as bad as sitting over there in the jail.
Yeah,
And
exactly.
you got to go out all day. You come home and shower,
And-
laughed with your buddies for a minute, went to bed.
Yeah.
Got up and did it again.
But then your choice when you're on the outside, you get with one of these broads, you live with her, you got to put up with her shit all the time. You can't
Yeah.
hang out with your homies no more. You see what I'm saying?
Yeah.
So, like, it's like the best of both worlds.
Yeah, yeah.
You know what I mean?
Yeah, yeah. Then she can't say come home or where you at.
Exactly. Ain't no bullshit
I'm
with
in jail.
it. Exactly.
I'm in jail.
So I end up knocking my ex up. The one that, was in love with another dude, wanted to
When
fuck.
you were in
Totally
jail,
by
that-
accident, bro.
Uh-huh.
Like, he is a work release baby. Poor guy. But, I mean, let's be honest. I was probably healthier then than I've ever been in my entire... I'm riding a bike 5 miles each way to work. So I'm doing 10 miles on a bike every fucking day. Bro, I was ripped. I was ripped, eating good food. Like, it was crazy back then, dude. So I end up knocking this broad up, thinking I can't knock broads up no more, right? Because, let's be honest, bro. I'm not wrapping up, and I'm blowing in every single thing I get to without a care in the world. So I might have other kids out there, apparently. Who knows? This does not mean to come forward for child support. I have no money.
Ever.
So, I end up getting with this chick. I hit the house arrest portion, okay? My ex is knocked up. She's pregnant, but she's moved out.
Okay.
She's doing her own thing. Bro, I am burning up broads. I'm getting stupid high. I'm stuck in my house, but I'm literally like, I'm ordering pussy like it's a pizza, bro. It was awesome.
This was great.
I remember my
Or
best
home
good
monitoring.
friend.
Is it home monitoring you're talking about?
Yeah, my best good friend at one point even came over and tattooed me.
Right.
And
I was
like-
wondering if that was at the same time.
Yeah,
that
that's
was going on.
That's the only time they
And
ever gave me house arrest.
In the White House over there.
Mm-hmm.
Yeah, yeah.
It was awesome. Of course, I managed to get myself a little habit, but back then you could pass a piss test. It wasn't a big deal.
It was different. I did 9
Yeah.
months on work release right here. I did 30 days or 90 days in, and then I had to do 9 months on work release or home monitoring. They had to fucking piss you every Friday.
Yeah.
And I smoked every day.
Yeah.
Every day, and I still went in there and I had my little.
Yep.
And he didn't. If you got a Peter Peeper, it's one thing. But if you got somebody that don't
cool.
care, like
Yeah,
dude, I would put it
yeah.
in there and he would look at it and just throw it in the toilet
Yep.
before I could get my pants zipped up.
Yep.
He don't care.
Back then it was laid back, bro.
Yeah.
Now they're on you for everything. They're looking to tear you off. So yeah, I make it through house arrest. Oh hell! I mean, really. After that, I got a habit on and off here and there. I'm trying to get clean. I'm getting high.
This is also got to be coming into Suboxone times, doesn't it?
It was
I feel
exactly when
Subs probably
Suboxone hit the
come around
market.
there, yeah.
When I was on work release, I remember one point they go to shake down, and a dude drops the fucking 8 in the middle of the fucking rec yard, bro. Like the interior rec yard, he drops it and it's in the middle of the fuck. Nobody wants to go get it. But it was so new, the cops didn't even know what the fuck it was.
Right.
It looks like a goddamn vitamin to them. You know what I mean? Vitamin C looked almost the same, except it's not an octagon. You know what I mean? So yeah, subs hit the market. I actually got out. At this point, I got out. I dabbled a little bit, but then I got on subs. I got my own prescription for subs, and I was good on the subs. It doesn't mean I didn't do anything else, but I didn't get strung out on shit for a good 10 years, bro.
Right.
Like, it was a good 10 years, and I spent all that time with that crazy that I decided to get with from fucking the restaurant, bro. It was a fucking disaster. Like, I thought I could ruin a bitch's life. Fuck no. She taught me some shit.
But you're right. This is also when you were just mad smoking crack too, right?
Oh, I did love the crack.
y'all was
And
smoking
Xannies,
mad
bro.
crack.
Back then you could get Xanax
wasn't
with
it?
Suboxone, bro.
We definitely did a lot of Xannies together.
Mm-hmm. Dude, I remember I ended up homeless. My hand was paralyzed for 8
that.
months.
I remember
that.
that.
Shit was crazy, bro.
You're sleeping in a tent. It was
Yep.
fucking freezing cold.
It was
too.
wintertime, bro. Like, and she rolled with me on that. Like, I don't know why. You know what I mean?
She could have went home at any time.
Shit, anytime, bro. But
She's
she
out there
stayed.
sleeping because
but-
you're smoking crack.
Yeah, and
she
then on
couldn't
top of
smoke crack
that-
at home.
I guess. I mean, yeah, she could have. She's a girl. Girls can always get whatever they want. They come equipped with a
Okay,
wallet.
so she's still sleeping with you. In the,
Yeah,
in
I
the
don't
fucking
understand
woods.
this still to
'Cause I
this
remember
day.
you used to go to Books a Million every morning.
Every day, bro.
I'd come through there in the mornings on my bike, and you'd be sitting there on your phone, charging your phone, drinking some coffee.
Yeah, that shit was crazy, bro. Like, it was, like stealing fucking food. But at the same time, man, it was really freeing. Like, at the time, I remember thinking about, like, these dudes that live out in the mountains with no electricity and stuff. And I'm thinking, man, those dudes are free, man.
Those dudes are
They got it
gangsters.
right. You know what I'm saying? Like, because they're living a good life. They ain't got to pay no taxes. You know what I'm saying?
They don't have no running water.
I mean, yeah, but
they don't have a heat or shower. Now,
I mean, you can have heat with a fucking fireplace.
Not in a tent.
No, tent's
you
a
were in a
different.
tent behind Walmart, bro.
No. That was not. I was not
you was
living
not
my
gonna
best
live
life.
that mountain life in a tent.
But what I'm saying though is, at the time, I realized that why these
that's
guys
just
do
kind of
that.
how you blew yourself up. And
No,
made
absolutely
yourself
not.
feel like
I was a homeless
okay.
piece of shit.
Okay.
No, I just remember thinking to myself, man, I get why these dudes do it, because there's no taxes. You know what I'm saying? Like, I'm not saying go live in a goddamn tent in the woods. Yeah, I'm sleeping in a fucking tent.
I think around that time's when you got that job.
No, I couldn't work, bro.
No, but that's how you got out of the tent, if I'm not mistaken, is when you got that job from that guy down here and you went to jail. I mean, you was working on it.
Oh,
no. He called me.
No, that was a little bit later.
Okay. Because I helped you clean the tent and shit up and get all your shit from there and take it to that house. Okay.
So, from there, I get the job with the dude that you're talking about, okay? And of course, I'm getting high. I'm doing Suboxone. I'm smoking big crack.
Were we?
Exactly.
Oh, man. I remember we spent 48 hours in that basement.
Yeah.
Smoking crack and running up and down upstairs, looking upstairs. Who's that? What's that? Fuck that shit.
Yeah, I'm with you, bro.
2 days straight we did that.
Yeah,
I took Corey's car. We drove around in Corey's car. Going over there and picking up, to get more.
Oh, yeah.
Driving around town.
Yeah, it was crazy,
in the
bro.
car.
Yeah.
Never again, bro. Never again do I want to do any of that stupid shit. It's so much chaos.
I remember, and I know you remember this. Okay, so on day 3, we started to tap out. Okay, you're like, man, I got to go home and get some sleep.
Yes.
I'm like, all right, that's cool, man. Drop me off at this house, man. I'm going to start this job because I'm all gagged out and shit. It's fucking 2 o'clock in the morning. Who's going to start a job at 2 o'clock in the morning, right?
Nobody.
So.
But we did spend time over there painting.
Yeah.
Remember? I helped you. We got all that shit done the first couple of days. But then I left you for a while. And when I came back, it was not good.
No. If you remember, I called the cops, okay? Because I'm all fucked up, right? And you know how paranoid and shit you get? Well, the fucking homeowner had told me about watch out for vandals in the area, right? Bro, so I'm like, I see shit out of the corner of my eyes.
This is so stupid.
Yeah,
dude.
so look, I see shit out of the corner of my eyes, right? And I'm thinking to myself, it's the vandals. What does a responsible person do? They call the cops.
Responsible people are smoking crack.
Exactly, at 2 o'clock in the morning, right? But this is totally rational in my head. So I call the police. They ask for my name. I give it to them. No biggie, right? The motherfucking sheriff show up, right? And I see him running by the house. I'm like, man, these guys are pretty fast. Oof. So then I hear a knock on the door. Well, I've got crack in one pocket and a bottle of Xanax in the other. I'm like, you know what? It's probably best not to have that on me in front of the cops. So I take off the jacket. I go up to the door and they're like, Eric Fravel? I said, yep. They said, we have a warrant for your arrest. I was like, what? What? Bro, they whooped my ass, okay? I'm all zanied, cracked out, right? They whooped my
you're
ass.
Fighting like hell.
Yeah, I guess
not
so.
leaving them drugs.
I don't even
you
remember.
You didn't want to leave them drugs behind.
Hell no.
You were cracking and Xanaxing.
And if you remember,
man.
I called you from jail. I was like, I need you to go get my jackets.
I do.
Everything's in there.
I do.
And you were like,
that.
I guess later on I talked to you and you were like, man, this was in here, but that wasn't in there.
Right. It was one was there, one was gone.
Yeah.
Because I remember, that was crazy times.
And at the time, I'm thinking, man, do it all. I don't give a fuck. Just make sure, the homeowner doesn't get it.
That was crazy times.
So I get bonded out on that one. I think I got a PR bond on that one. And I go back to the guy and I'm like, my bad. And he's like, oh, it's cool.
I remember that dude was really understanding because he called me and asked me what happened. I was like, I didn't know what to fucking tell him. Like, what do you say?
I told him I had warrants I didn't know about.
Right.
So he's like, oh, it's cool, man. And so I ended up working on this house for like 8 months, bro. And I mean, partying the whole fucking time. Partying the whole time, bro. It was insane. I
remember when I come by there to do the gutter. Remember I had James run the gutter off. I come by there to do the gutter. And I had Corey weed eating.
Yep.
And every 2 minutes you were in the bedroom smoking crack.
Yeah. Bro, I mean, I was
just
smoking
disappear
crack.
and just smoke crack.
Yeah.
I'd come back there and look at the door be shut and I'd be like, okay.
What's he doing? Yeah.
I'm like, I'm done. Pay me. I got to go.
Yeah.
You're just back there cracker jacking. Doors locked. I'm saying, Eric,
terrible.
you're not even answering. It was bad.
It was bad. So I ended up getting locked up again there. I think I got hit for, I can't even remember anymore, probably a couple possessions, a couple PB-15s, probation violations. And I think I ended up going back in and bonding out again.
and I finally finished this job.
You
and I'm
finally
moving on.
finished that house after all that. Because I was in jail whenever what happened with that house.
Yeah, I feel like I did a little bit of time there during that though.
Yeah. So, anyways, you got home from that house, and then what's been going on since then? Like, I can't even.
Oh, dude, this is not that long ago. This is probably only 5, maybe 6 years ago that this happened.
If that.
Not even that. Yeah, and so I end up, living in a hotel, getting picked up on warrants. I violated my probation repeatedly. Like in the last 5 years, I've gotten probation violations and 2 possessions every time I get hit. And the first time they did that, they sentenced me to 6 months in the halfway house. No. Yeah, 6 months in the halfway house. Second time, I had to do like this drug pod thing, like a rehabilitation thing in the jail.
In-house.
And then go to the halfway house. So, yeah, I did both of those. And
both of those times after that is when you worked with us.
Yeah.
You came home from there, and I picked you up from the halfway house every day after that.
Mm-hmm.
And then the last one, you did what? What'd they do on that one?
So last one, I get hit again, and like I didn't even know that I had a warrant out for my arrest. I'd gone to see the PO. I didn't piss hot. I moved without telling them. That's what.
This is the 19-year-old story, though.
Oh yeah. Just wait for that one. Okay, this is how it starts. Okay, so I move in with that chick, Carrie. Okay, I call the PO the next day. She's cool with it. So then I go into my next visit, and she's like, hey, this is your new PO. I'm like, hey, how you doing? Blah, 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 blah. Do everything. Everything's cool. She puts out a warrant a week later because I moved without permission. Didn't tell her. But I told the one before, you know what I mean? So it's like a clerical error type of thing that I wouldn't have done any time on, except I'm fucking this 19-year-old and doing big dope. Well, at this point, it's fentanyl and coke. You know what I mean? And I had just started my run. Like, I've only been up for like 3 days, okay? And, like, I'm going out to the parking lot to get in my car, and I hear Eric Fravel, and I turn around, I see the cops, and they're like, don't do it, because they know I'm thinking about running. So they search me. You know, they pull, like, this 8-ball out of what looks like an 8-ball out of the pocket of my chest. They're like, oh, we got something. They're like, what is it? And I'm like, I don't know, bro. You know, at this point, come on, man, I'm seasoned. You ain't getting me any way, shape, or form. And he's like, is it drugs? Maybe. I don't know. What do you mean you don't know? Man, I've been up for 3 days. This shit could be anything, bro. And he's like, all right, well, we're just going to call this coke. All right, call it what you want. So he hits me with a charge for the coke, right? Bro, they cuff me. You know, they get paraphernalia and shit, right? I get to the jail, right? I'm so fucked up. I don't realize I got an 8-ball of fentanyl and an 8-ball of coke in my pocket. And they're all like, you know, how the cops get all, you know, puffed up and shit. Like, we got him, you know. So they're doing this when I get to the jail. And one of the cool-ass sergeants, Sergeant Young, was like, he's doing the pat-down, the immediate pat-down, right? And he, like, reaches in my pocket, and he's like, what the fuck, guys? It's in my hip pocket. Like, they missed my hip pocket because all they cared about was, oh, we scored. Mm-hmm. You know what I mean? And he's looking at them like, you're retards.
Right.
Man, I got so lucky, bro, because if I had taken 3 steps in that door, they'd have hit me with that 5-year bringing it in the prison shit.
Yeah, right.
So they threw that out. Well, you know what? Let me backtrack, though, okay? You remember when I got busted at the house and I was doing the coke and the Xannies and I'd been up for days? Well, I got my ass beat by the sheriffs when they got me, right? I go into the jail, right? And I'm still fucked up. And you know Xannies fuck you up all the way, right? Dude, I go in front of the fucking magistrate, and you know how they're usually like ask you questions and shit, and you answer? He just looks at me and goes, no bond. He took one look at me, bro. Didn't ask me a single fucking question and said, no bond. Yeah. Dude, so Big Harpine is behind the fucking counter, right? And I, of course, you know, I'm badass because I'm fucked up. So I turn to him, I'm like, what the fuck are you laughing at? And he's just like, okay, Fravel. All right, go ahead and sit down. So I sit down because I'm a tough guy. I just talk back to the police.
I had a sawed-off shotgun when I was 17.
So then he's like, all right, Fravel, we got a cell for you, right? I'm like, all right, so I'm a badass. So I go on back to the cell, bro. There's 6 cops in the cell waiting for me, bro.
Whoop that ass.
Yes, sir. Yo, they got me like pushed down by my neck on the concrete, bro. They had me up in the air.
Leg folded up in the scorpion.
They put me up in the air and stripped me butterball naked, bro. 3 feet off the ground. They're just tearing my clothes off and shit, right?
Holding you up there.
And then of course you hear Harpine. He's holding my face down. He goes, "What's that you say? You want to kill yourself?" I was like, "I didn't say that, you motherfucker." So What do? They put me in the turtle suit, and they put me in the turtle chair.
That's the worst
If
place
anybody
ever.
doesn't know, this is where you go when you're nuts. Okay? They strap you
Not
all the way
fun.
down. You're wearing like one of those moving blankets from U-Haul. You know what I'm saying? It's got a hole in the top. It's like a poncho, only it's a blanket.
They used to
So-
just be paper back in the day.
Yeah, well,
They
that's-
used to just
that's-
be paper gowns.
So I'm strapped down, and Hardpine, now he's the badass,
Of
right?
course.
He walks on by, and I just looked at him and started
And it's right there
laughing.
in between medical and the outside. It straps to the floor right in
Yep.
between them two areas, so you can see it's like a fucking fish aquarium.
Yep.
And you're on
Everybody
main
sees
stage,
you.
bro. Yeah.
So he walks by, and I started laughing. He goes, "What's so fucking funny, Fravel?" I said, "I ain't slept in 3 days, motherfucker. I'm gonna sleep right through this." I went right to sleep. Woke up to the doctor going, "Are you okay?" Man, I was okay the whole time. These motherfuckers are lying.
okay, so past that, we're back to the
All
point
right.
of you just
All
got
right.
out. How long have you been out of jail right now?
Now I think like 2 weeks, 3
That
weeks,
sounds
maybe.
about right, 2 weeks.
And this time, I'm really a tough guy because I went to prison.
Ah,
You know
all
what I'm
these
saying?
jail sentences.
Yeah.
Now it's finally a prison
Yeah,
sentence.
I was doing life in county, you know,
Right.
in installments. But now I'm a tough guy because this time when
So-
when they get all this shit on me, they stamp me for 2 years.
Right?
I went from doing 6 months in like rehabilitative communities to just doing 2 years in prison.
You're just going to prison for the first time.
Mm-hmm.
Let's talk about how drugs and things like that worked inside prison.
Okay, well, we'll start from the beginning.
Okay.
Okay. In this bid, it did not have to turn into me going to prison. I was actually set to go to work release and outside trustee and all that shit, okay? But so I'm in the local lockup, okay? But I am flooding the place with Suboxone, okay? I've gotten plugged in to where, you know, the source is hitting me and I'm paying nothing and making stupid money, okay? An 8 milligram strip by itself, easily you can get $400 for it. 400.
That goes on the street for what?
Out here, you can buy one for like $10,
Okay.
you know? So it goes for 400 in lockup, and I'm flooding the place, right? And I'm so fucked up on that and spice every day. I spent my first 5 months gassed out of my brain, okay?
Spice. What spice?
K2. What else?
Synthetic marijuana.
Yeah. So, and it's sprayed on paper, and you can smoke it. I also found that you can eat it, okay? I found this out the hard way. I got busted for smoke and spice in another guy's cell, okay? So
Okay.
they can't do anything to him because it's on paper. There's no way to find it. They just know that smoke had happened there. But because I entered somebody else's cell on camera, I broke a rule. So the cop comes up in my cell. Like at this point, I know shit's going down. Like I'm down in the day area, and everybody's like, "Yo, Eric, he's going up in dude's cell." I'm like, "Fuck!" So I run up to mine and tell my cellie, "Dump everything, get rid of everything," and then I go back down so I don't draw attention. He gets rid of everything. I'm up in the cell. The cop comes in. He's like, "So where's the hooch at, Eric?" I'm like, "Fuck you talking about, bro?" He goes, "I know you were smoking over in the other dude's cell." He goes down to the day area, has me go down there, and then takes me out into the rec yard like he's slick or something. So then he's like, and I just said, "Man, I'm gonna go ahead and stop you right here, bro. You ain't gonna pull me out here and make it look like I'm telling you shit because I ain't telling you nothing." And I walked back inside, went up to my cell. Man, they tore homeboy's cell apart looking for anything. I mean, I'm talking tore the mat apart, everything. They find nothing. So the only thing he can do is lock me down. So he locks me down for 4 hours in my cell. Well, of course, you know.
Oh, you had to stand in the corner.
Exactly.
That's
I got
about
put
what
in
it
time
is, dude.
out,
It's like,
you know?
yeah, fucking stand in the corner for a minute.
So of course, my luck, my battery's dead. I can't spark my spice. You know what I'm saying? Or out here they call it chicken. So what do? I've got an envelope full of chicken because I'm buying everything in the block. So I'm like, you know what? I heard you could eat it. So I tear off like what would be like 3 sticks. And I eat that motherfucker. I taste it. I let it dissolve, bro. About 45 minutes later, I am stoned as a motherfucker, bro. Like, I'm sitting in my window of my cell like, bro, they popped my door like 3 different times. Fravel needs something, you know, because people see me staring in the cell. And every time I'm just like, so I find out you can eat it. So then they move me from the main jail back over to the community corrections building, which is like a lighter security, right? I'm over there. I got this envelope full of chicken. And then I start getting the fucking subs, bro, and flooding everything. I run out of chicken. Like, at one point, I'm in the day area at 3 a.m., I guess, with the remote changing the TV channel. Cop comes in. He's like, "Man, Fravel, what are you doing?" change the channel, bro. What's it look like? You know what I mean? Like, I'm thinking, like, he's a dumbass. I'm not supposed to be in the day room in the middle of the night. You know what I mean? But, you know, I'm fucked up. I don't care. So I end up flooding this place, right? Well, they catch on. Somebody snitches. I know who snitched. You know what I mean? Because he's a known fucking snitch, right? And he tells on me and these 3 other guys. Well, so what do? I can no longer go outside. I can't go to any kind of trustee shit. They administratively removed me, which means they didn't have enough evidence to charge me with anything, but they knew I was at the center of it. So they moved me back over to the main building. And at this point, this says that I can't go to work release. I can't do any kind of program in the jail anymore. So then I think I'm
population.
Yeah, I think I'm a fucking genius. The next day I've got court, so I go in and I'm like, dude, I think that you have to have a year put on your paperwork to send you to DOC. That used to be how it is. It's not like that anymore, right? I go in there and
12 months or less was home time.
It's not like that now.
Might be DOC.
Yeah, they can say year, they can say months. Anything past 12, you're going to touch down. I've even seen people with 8 months touchdown in DOC now. They've changed it up. So I go in and I tell my lawyer, make sure it says a year. He goes, dude, it's only 11 months. I said, tell him I want a year. Because I'm thinking that I got to
go to prison.
So I fucking give myself an extra month and make sure that I go to prison, right? Everybody's telling me how awesome prison is. You know, it's like Candyland. Well, 5 more months later, 5 months of fucking pretty much sobriety. You know what I mean? So I'm miserable for 5 months. Then I find out what real misery is. I go to receiving in Nottoway Penitentiary, okay? It's February, and it's hot as dog balls. It's so fucking hot in that place, bro. I'm running around in my underwear. That's how fucking hot it is.
Pumping the heat out.
Yeah, oh my God, cranking it, bro. So I get hooked up with this blood shot caller. You know, we started out playing poker, you know, and became, you know, somewhat friends, you know? And, of course, I got money. So within 3 days, we're still on quarantine from COVID, all right? Keep in mind, I took 3 trips to Nottoway, okay? The first time we go down there, one of the guys tests hot. 4 hours in a goddamn dog catcher mobile in that metal box, right? 4 hours there. One dude pops hot when we get there. 4 hours all the way back to Winchester, bro. in the dog catcher mobile. And that box is
big enough for you to fit in.
Misery. Absolute misery, bro.
They got you shackled.
Yep.
They got the waist chains.
So we get back.
They got your handcuffs. And you're like this the whole way.
Oh, dude, it's terrible. And then the cuffs for DOC,
ever.
they have a metal box that they put on the cuffs now, so you can't even move them around and shit.
They don't even do this.
Yeah, and a fucking inmate came up with that shit.
Yeah.
A convict. That's fucking crazy, bro. I'm glad you made money, but you fucked the rest of us.
Of course.
You know?
I used to know dudes back in the day that could turn them sideways and put them together and break them.
Mm-hmm. So, all right. So now I've touched down in Nottoway. Okay. Well, no, we went back 1 week later. Keep in mind, okay, you know when you're rolling out, you leave shit to people. You know what I'm saying? You give your shit away, especially in Winchester. You can't take nothing with you.
Yeah, they won't let you move nothing. They don't want to move all that shit.
Yeah, exactly.
And they want you to spend more money when you get to the next spot.
Yeah, and so, but we had to come back. And I was there in time to order, so I ordered like $100 order. But they don't know when we're going back to Nottoway.
Right, but you still got to order.
Yeah, you got to get everything all over again, right? A week later, we go back to Nottoway.
You haven't even washed your fucking sweats yet.
Yeah. So then I go for another 4-hour ride in the dog catcher mobile, right? I get to Nottoway. It's hot as dog balls. They got like a set quarantine time, so you're supposed to be in the block for like a week. And then you're allowed to go to fucking rec and all that kind of shit, right? We couldn't even go to the fucking mess hall. So, but within a few days, the cadre's already hooked up with this blood dude. He's got the strips, the strips hit. And, of course, I'm on it. I need all that, and everybody knows I'm immediately like, I need every stuff. Mm-hmm. You know what I mean? So I start getting fucked up. Day 3, I think I'm fucked up, right? Man, there's meth, there's weed, there's cigarettes. Look, and this is how genius I am, okay? There's motherfucking tobacco there, right? I could be smoking cigarettes if I want to. But motherfuckers want $10 a roll-up. I'm not paying it.
No.
And I know myself.
I don't even need a cigarette like that.
Exactly. Well, the dude's sitting there smoking big cigarettes all the time.
And probably some shit somebody stepped on to put out anyways.
No. It was all fresh, man. Because in there, man, the police cool as a fan. Like, I watched the police drop the pack more than once. And, like, it was always women. The fucking Nottoway was packed with women. Some of them were gorgeous, bro. It was insane. There was one there that looked like a straight dope whore, bro. God bless her. I was in love.
I bet you was.
I never even spoke to her, but I was in love because all I could think was, this is the broad that's going to bring me a pack. So yeah, I'm doing it.
So inside, you're using Suboxone.
Yeah.
You're smoking synthetic pot.
Yep.
What else are you able to get on the inside?
Meth.
People are doing meth in prison.
Yeah, and I was working on getting coke. You know what I mean? Like, me, man. I'm gonna get it in. If I'm getting it in, I'm getting everything. Okay. So I'm there for like 40 days. So basically,
this is a cycle. This is like you're a drug addict on the street. Yeah. You got locked up. You're a drug addict in jail.
Yep.
Then you get moved to prison. Now you're a drug addict in prison.
Exactly. So, but here's the thing. Like, in prison, you got your hustle game, whatever it might be. You could be Maytag. You could be the laundryman. You could be, a dude that, draws or something. Everybody got to hustle. You know what I mean? I'm blessed with money from the street. So I'm staying fucked up, bro. And at this point, I understand why everybody loves prison, because there's no probation. You know what I mean? Like, when the cops are going to run down on you. You know what I mean? Like, if you're wired into the prison, you're wired in. You're living your best life. You know what I mean? Bro, in Nottoway, motherfucking COs were fucking dudes, bro. These chicks were fucking. Like, bro, so
I
you're in prison.
I think that happens about anywhere. I think that any prison system you're going to get into, there's going to be things like that are going to end up going down.
Yeah, so these girls are tricking. They're fucking bringing the pack in. I'm telling you, bro, like, the Bloods have Nottoway on lock. You know what I'm saying? But it's awesome. It for real is the candy land that I was promised. You know what I mean? So I develop a nice fucking habit. I'm doing like a half a strip every day myself. So that's enough I'm gonna fucking detox, right? So I'm getting ready to move. They're moving me to some fucking level 1 camp. Okay, I don't know where I'm going yet. I'm fucked up, but I'm packing for the ride. You're gonna love this, okay? So I take 3 strips the night before I leave. I balloon them and I cram them in my butt.
Hold on. Let's go through the process of ballooning. What is ballooning?
Okay, ballooning. In this case, it's going to be the finger out of a rubber glove. Okay. I take my 3 strips, I separate them with a little bit of saran wrap each, put them in the glove, and then I, knot it up. At this point, okay, I've never really done this before. I think the one time way back when I boofed something here, because remember, probation caught me, and that's the story for another time.
Yeah, that's a different story.
So, but I don't like boofing things. I found this out. This is unpleasant no matter how you slice it. Now, in this instance, okay, the tragedy didn't come from the entrance. It came from the exit. Okay, so the night before, I'm like, okay, just in case it's really early and they're all over me, I'm going to go ahead and boof it now. So I throw a little grease on the butthole, throw it in there, right? I'm good. Okay, the next day, we end up going for a fucking 5-hour ride, shackled, no pisser, bro. There's a bucket in the back of the van to piss in.
No way.
Swear to God on everything, bro. I peed in a bucket in a moving van, bro, with shackles on.
Okay.
So I go to pull out this pack, okay? So I'm thinking it's going to work out like it did the time before, and I can just pluck it off the end of my poop, and I'm good to go, right? So I put my hand back there, and I'm getting ready to catch this poop, right? And I feel like my hand gets really warm and wet.
Why are you catching the poop?
Because I got to catch the pack, bro.
You don't want it to go in the toilet.
No. Fuck no.
Okay. So your hand
is filled with diarrhea.
No.
I swear to God. Look. I peed out my butt, okay? I don't know what caused this. You know what I'm saying? I've been strung out on fucking Suboxone forever. Should not have happened. It was probably the hair grease. Something
happened. So the grease didn't help, and probably the long ride of holding your poop.
Yeah. Oh, dude. So you're
pooping in your hands at this point.
Yeah, and I mean literally.
How do you? This is like a horrible mental picture right now, but how do you stop squirting? Like, are you just filling one hand up and then?
Bro, look. So my hand. I'm not putting the other hand back there. I got my hand back there, right? And I squirt all this diarrhea in there. And I got look around the pack's not even in there yet, bro. So I dump the poop out of my hand, and I continue to try and poop, and then it's so nasty.
But how are you cutting the poop off each time? You're just...
Yep, just clenching my butt. Clenching my butt. Hold on.
With the
not there yet.
It's got...
So then
it's got to just want to come roll it out of there, bro.
I finally feel it hit, bro, okay? And I'm like,
how do you feel it hit?
because it's a plastic.
It's bigger than everything else.
Yeah, it's not liquid.
Okay, everything else is straight
solid.
runny. There's no little. Okay.
Yeah, it's the only nugget that comes out. Okay,
Little piece of poop. Little piece of poop.
So
in your
it's
hand.
so bad. Look, this is an open dorm. Okay, the bathroom can be seen by the cops. I'm doing all this with like a partition wall in front of me. That's it. Okay, so I'm like trying to be slick about my pack. There's no sink available. So what do?
No water. There's no water.
No water, bro. No water. I can't wash myself off.
No way.
I swear to God. So what do? I flush the fucking liquid that's there. I start washing my hand in the toilet water.
Okay.
Washing my pack
Where's the
off in
pack?
the toilet
Okay,
water.
the pack's in
you know what
your
I'm saying?
hand.
I've got the toilet paper. I've now wrapped up my pack and stuck it in my sock with the poop on it and everything else. So look. So then, bro, I've got poop. I've got poop on my shirt. I've got poop splatter on my pants. I mean, like, and I'm like, well, let's see, embarrassment, pack. Embarrassment, pack. Well, I'm just going to have to accept the embarrassment because I'm getting this pack. So I get all cleaned up. I go ahead and, tear me off a little piece and get high. You know what I mean? And then all this shit starts coming down the pipe. And then I hear they're bringing the fucking dogs in. At the time, I don't know dogs can't smell Suboxone.
Okay.
They're not trained for it yet, I guess.
Okay.
Or at least these weren't, right? So I eat a strip and a half, okay? And then I flush the rest, bro. Because I'm not going to get caught. You know what I mean? That's the last thing that's ever going to happen. I'd rather go without. So then, all that transpired. Here's the funny thing, right? So I piss hot when I first got there. Like, they were like, hey, look, anybody that's got something in their system after all this shit popped off with this dude, they piss every single person on the compound. So they say, just admit it now. We'll go easy on you. Well, I admit it. You know what I mean? Because another guy I know in there's like, man, I just tell him because you're going to piss hot. Bro, so I pissed hot for like 3 things. The cop actually looks at me and goes, are you okay?
Right, because you're in prison.
Yeah.
You're in prison pissing hot for 3 different
Yeah,
things.
exactly.
Eric. This is not good.
Look, and I just looked
it's
at the
not
dude.
how this is supposed to work.
Yeah, I look at the dude. I'm like, bro, I'm in prison and I got money. What do you think was going to happen? So, so I end up pissing hot, right? You're supposed to be on a hot list, right? Mm-hmm. As soon as you piss hot, they're supposed to start pissing you all the time.
Stop being on the table.
Sorry. They're supposed to start pissing you all the time. Well, guess what? I never got another piss test the entire time I was there.
Sometimes they do that too. I've seen them hit some motherfucker every time,
Bro,
and then they'll skip over the other one, and you'd be like, "How come you never get it?"
Yeah, they were pissing people every
week. We got
week.
busted together, and you're like never getting hit.
Well, this compound after this was dry, bro. Absolutely dry. I mean, we got tobacco in, so I'm dipping and smoking and shit. But there wasn't no wine.
So how's going through detox in prison? Like
it was not pleasant.
Right,
it wasn't as bad as I thought it was going to be.
I feel like it's kind of the same way it is when you first go in. Only now you have commissary and shit.
Yeah. It wasn't as bad. You know what I mean? So.
So, anyways,
while I'm in here,
while you're in there, you find out what?
I find out that I have cancer. Okay, I'm going to give you the rundown on this one. When I'm at Nottoway, they do the whole like once over with you. They check out your teeth. They take blood from you, all that kind of shit. And I got like a swollen lymph node right here. Right, I mentioned it to the doctor at Nottoway. Great doctor, absolutely fantastic. He says, look, it's probably a reactive lymph node, but wherever you go next, tell them about it. So I get there, I tell them about it, and they're like, okay, well, we'll do a sonogram. So I do the sonogram, and they find not just that, but a couple more lumps in my neck that shouldn't be there. So then they send me to this ear, nose, and throat guy, or they're supposed to, okay? And it was like 2.5 months before I ever get an appointment, okay? And, like, I'm asking these guys about it all the time. The doctor had told me, I'll be seeing you every week. He didn't.
Nah.
You know what I'm saying? And I don't even think they scheduled an appointment because the only reason I got into this special was because my old lady on the street is calling DOC, is calling the compound, is emailing them every day. She's on them. You know what I'm saying? Like, because for real, I mean, you know how it is, bro. You're not even human anymore.
No, you're not. You're cattle.
You know what I'm saying? That's
and
it.
at the same time, too, if they do find something like that out, they're not going to want to pay for it.
Exactly.
So
they don't want to deal with
you're
all
how
that.
far from the door?
Yeah, I only did 5 months in there, but
so you're 5 months from the door when you find this out.
Yeah, well, okay. I don't even know it's cancer yet. Okay.
Okay.
But at this point, it's
5
up in the
months
air.
is when you recognize the lumps. Now they're telling you it could be a reactive lymph node.
So then,
but
so
next
then
place, tell them.
So then finally, I get a letter from DOC telling me that I have an appointment with an ENT. I go down to medical. I'm like, look what I got. So when's this going on? They don't even know about it. They have no idea that this has transpired. DOC made the appointment for them 2.5 months later, which means they totally dropped the ball, and they were like, fuck that guy. You know what I mean?
Right. If we miss one appointment, by the time we reschedule, he'll be home.
Well, so then I go to the ENT, and he runs a scope down my nose and everything else. He's like, look, man, we need to send you for a biopsy because, they sent me, they're sending me for a biopsy, but they did a CAT scan. And they did a CAT scan first. I get the CAT scan done, and they're like, you have multiple lumps in here, right? So a month after that, they're like, we're going to send you for a biopsy, but we got to send you for another CAT scan first. I go for the second CAT scan, and they've grown. The masses in my neck have grown in 1 month. So then they send me for the biopsy. They biopsy the one lymph node, and it comes hot for squamous cell, whatever. You know what I mean? So I've definitely got cancer at this point.
And is there a stage to it?
I haven't been staged yet.
Okay.
And all the shit that the ENT, he was cool. He did his job. He was on the ball. At the point, as soon as he was like, look, this isn't right, man, I started having appointments every fucking week. You know what I mean? I'm getting transported to doctors all the time.
Okay.
Dude, they did the
But
biopsy.
point being, it took you a minute to even get to that point.
Exactly.
So
and
something could have been done 2 months earlier if they
that,
would have taken their responsibility seriously.
Add to that the fact that within
That
1 month, the masses grew. So what do you think it did for the 2.5 before that? You see what I'm saying? So I still don't know how bad it is. You know what I mean? They got me going to UVA though. I mean, so I'm thinking it's not like some, run of the mill shit. So yeah, I finally get out. Jesus Christ, man. It was a wild ride, bro.
Yeah, and now it's
cancer.
Yeah, so
and I'm doing all the UVA trips.
Fucked.
Yeah, it's kind of weird, man, cuz like we were talking earlier about the halfway houses and how the halfway houses are great for reintegration into society. You know what I'm saying? But I'm not in that spot. I feel sorry for old girl because she ain't never been with a convict before. Okay.
So old girl's the chick you've been with that you met while you were inside.
Well, I met her just before I went in, and she decided to ride with me. She's a good girl that way. So I'm living with her, and bro, I don't do anything. You know what I'm saying? I got cancer. I work for myself usually. I paint and do home renovation shit. And I've had plenty of people be like, "Hey, Eric, can you do this?" But the whole thing is, and I tell them straight up, I can't commit to it because the way my situation is now, I'm not going to start a job if I can't finish
it. And that's also part of what you was talking about too, is trying to reintegrate yourself into society too. So now that you've been in for that long, this is the longest time you've been in was 18 months.
Yeah.
So that long amount of time, your whole dreams have changed. So now when you're here now, are you having jail dreams yet?
Yeah, I've had a couple. Yeah, so they suck.
It does. Well, it's just like you remember when you first went in, you had freedom dreams, and you would wake up and you was destroyed your life. Now when you wake up, it's like, thank God.
Yeah,
you know what I'm saying?
It's scary,
holy
bro.
fuck,
For real.
There's a ceiling fan above me and not a bunch of wadded up toilet paper that somebody threw up there. So yeah, it does make it hard. I think that's where the halfway house come in good for me because I did 6 months. So you're still in the jail environment. Because you're showering, shitting, shaving, all that stuff, sleeping beside people, but you go out and work.
Yeah, exactly.
And so it's a little bit of each, and then it becomes all of one. You know what I'm saying? And I think that did help me. But I still was, I didn't want to party. I didn't go out.
Yeah.
Dude, when I was with Ashley, she wanted to go out and do things all the time. And I was like, yo, I don't want to go out around those fucking people.
Yeah, exactly.
I don't want to go drink beer and party around all them people because I'm still the guy that's standing in the corner making sure there's nothing crazy going on.
Facts.
And I don't think that wore off for a while.
Well, I mean,
I think you lived for that for a while.
That's where I'm at right now. She'll have friends come over and that's cool. And then we went over to one of her friends' house who was having a party, and I was like, no, I can't do this, man. I've been in a grocery store. Day 2, I'm out and I'm in a grocery store, and she takes me to Costco, bro. This is not a good place for somebody that just got out, right? There's motherfuckers. So here's the
thing that you would think though, it's what's the difference between being around so many people in prison and being around so many people on the street?
It's respect. Okay. That's all there is to it. A lot of people on the street are oblivious to other people being around them. In today's society, motherfuckers don't care. They'll run your foot over with a cart and just keep it moving. You know what I mean? Dude, I'm in Costco and I almost get hit by a cart 3 times.
Right.
And then finally I tap out. I'm like, man, I'm going to the car. Fuck this. You know what I mean? Because they don't even say they're sorry. You know what I mean? There's no Like they are oblivious to.
They pay no attention.
None.
They stand there in line
Yeah.
and they don't care.
They do
it's
what
driving.
they do.
They do it when they're driving, and that's one thing that I think has changed the whole way I live life. One of the best things I learned from prison is that I'm respectful.
Yeah,
I walk around like a fucking ninja. I'm not making noise. I'm not going to get in your way. When I end up in one of them little crazy spots in the grocery store and I'm kind of like trapped in and somebody's trying to look through me and I'm getting the fuck out of the way until all y'all clear up, and then I'll come back and do my thing. But I'm not going to be in your way for a second, and I'm not going to be disrespectful.
Well, you know, one thing that you hear a lot when you're in and you don't hear when you're out, excuse me.
Yeah, that's
You
true
know what
too.
I'm saying? Like, you be walking by a dude on the stairs in the
You
yard.
just happen to touch.
Excuse me. You know what I'm
You
saying?
just
Like,
happen
you're
to
respectful
touch.
about it. You know what I'm saying?
Same thing too. It's just like nodding your head at somebody, making eye contact, and being like, "How you doing, man? You good? How you doing? You doing?" Yeah, that's definitely a big different thing. Acknowledgement, and it doesn't matter if I don't talk to you, if I don't deal with you inside. If I respect you enough to acknowledge you, I will. And if I don't acknowledge you, it's probably because I don't respect you.
Exactly.
You're some scumbag that did something. I'm not even gonna make eye contact with you. I'm gonna roll right by.
We don't.
So when you live that way on the inside for a little bit, on the outside it almost seems disrespectful to not be acknowledged.
Bro, and then like, so like, you know, old girls got bunches of friends. Some of them have shitty boyfriends. You know what I mean? And like, you know, no women, no children. That's kind of my code. You know what I'm saying? You don't hurt women, you don't hurt kids. You just don't do it, you know? And so they'll tell me about this boyfriend that does this and this and this and this. And then she's like, let's go over to him. I'm like, nah, we ain't doing that.
I know, right?
I don't want to be around this dude. It's the same thing when you're locked up, bro. Like, if I'm going to play cards, I'm not playing cards with a fucking chomo.
Good point. Absolute
you know what I'm saying?
good point,
Like,
yeah.
and I'm just, you know, I have that awareness that, like, I know I don't, because at this point, like, you got kind of a mini fight or flight mode in your head at all times. You know what I'm saying? Because you've been on edge. Because there's no way, anytime you're inside, you're on edge.
Yeah.
You're watching your back. You know, you're always looking out for what's going on. Is somebody trying to get over on you? Is somebody trying to get you? You know what I'm saying? That's just how it is.
So how's it like, do you feel a difference between going out with her versus going out with me?
Well, yeah. I mean, we're two cons rolling together. You know what I mean? With her, it's like a society thing. Like, she's, you know, best way I can put this is like, you know, I don't come from much. You know what I'm saying? Pretty much everything I got. You know what I mean? She's got bread. She's, you know, she lives in a higher society, in a higher class tax bracket than I've ever been in. You know what I'm saying?
Upper middle class.
Exactly. So, like, a lot of the people around there, they're not my kind of people. You know what I'm saying? What I'm used to. I shouldn't say. And this isn't putting them down. This is just a difference.
It's
you know
saying
what I'm
that
saying?
it's saying that there's cultural differences
There
in where
is.
you grew
There
up
really
versus
is.
them. Yeah.
And you know, like
They're wine and Chardonnay drinkers.
Yeah.
And you know, we're
and believe me, they be drinking, bro.
we're
Oh
dope
my
house.
God. So yeah, there's a cultural difference, you know, there and add to that, like, I'm feeling, for me personally, bro, like, because the whole cancer thing, I can't even work right now. You know what I'm saying? So I wake up in the morning, you know, usually you go to work. You know what I'm saying? If you're a grown man, you work every day. That's what you do. You know what I'm saying? Man, I be getting up watching TV. It sounds like I'm in prison still.
I know.
You know what I mean? So, like, I'm not integrating yet. It's becoming more difficult to integrate, you know?
Yeah, well, at that same time too, bro, you know you got to lay back and just see what happens with this other shit too. And that's what I said earlier when we left Waffle House is trying to keep you busy. I'll have something for you to do. It's a long ways to come get you. We need your car.
Yeah, I know it.
You need a car. And then the days that you do have appointments, you know what I'm saying? Boom, you can go.
Yeah.
And the days that you don't have appointments, we can do something else.
Yeah, I'm with you. That's where it's at. And like I think I'm probably gonna start taking some of these small jobs, painting a little bit here and there. You know what I mean? Because it seems like with the whole cancer thing, it's like they're starting the process all over again. You know, they redid the scan. You know what I'm saying? I show up there and they're like, well, we have a report, but we don't have any imaging. So, like, everything that went down in prison that they was looking at, they're not getting all the information somehow.
Yeah, and here's the thing with that. It's, you know, two sides of one stone, because it's like, how much longer is that going to take for them to get there if the growth has been this long?
Yeah.
But they want to check every box, man.
No, I get
You know
it.
what I'm
I know
saying?
they got to do what they got to do. And here's the thing. I can't make it go faster. I can't do anything to change the process.
All you got to do is
I
keep
just
your
gotta
mind
roll with it.
occupied.
Yeah, I just got to roll with it.
It's just like doing time. Like, you're waiting on the end date to come home when you're inside. And like now you're waiting on the end date of like, what the fuck's going to happen with this situation?
Mm-hmm.
Jail's a situation. Now cancer's a situation that you got to deal with.
Like, you know, I've been kind of estranged from my family for a while. Before I went in on this bid, you know, like I hadn't talked to my mom in like 5 years. You know what I mean? She was mad at me, and understandably, because, you know, I'm with this fucking trick doing dope fiend shit. You know,
you set fire to every bridge you ever crossed.
Yeah, exactly. Oh, minus you. You're about the only friend I
You've
managed to
probably
keep
set fire to
along the
that
way.
one a couple of times, and I put it out.
That's possible.
I don't know.
I feel like you're putting yourself up there like a superhero.
I also know, you know, one thing that I've really been learning. No, but seriously, something that I've been learning is to expect people to be who they are. Mm-hmm. And I want people to be different than who they are, but I got to expect you to be who you are. I wanted you to do this the first time, and you went right back to jail. And then I wanted you to do it again, and you went right back to jail. And then this like 3 times in a row.
Now,
it went through the same shit.
To be fair, when I start doing my thing, I distance myself.
And I you tried to, because don't think you didn't come in here and nod the fuck out until I got pissed off at you and told you never to come around like that again.
But also, I told you I was going back to jail this time.
Yeah, you did. And again, it's just me expecting you to be who you are. Right now, I can't even expect you to be anything because you have to deal with this first.
Yeah, it's crazy. It's like life's on pause.
It is. It is completely.
Yeah, and like, you know me, normally I'm like animated, in your face, like, you know, ready and raring to go. Mm-hmm. Man, this is not there, bro. Like, it's almost like...
Well, that's because
my
as
brain's
emotionless as you are, you're still... You're Eric's version of depressed.
Yeah.
That's what you are.
Yeah.
You know, and I'm not sure what that looks like outside of me and you sitting here, because I just don't know what it's like at your house. But there's a version of that I feel like you're just like you're just not an emotional person.
Well, I'm not. You know, like a psychiatrist when I was a kid diagnosed me as borderline sociopath. I don't feel empathy. I don't feel remorse. Not like other people do. And here's the thing, you know, like over my lifespan, I have learned how to mimic a lot of emotions.
You're like Dexter.
And you know, it's kind of shitty, but I don't even care enough to think it's shitty. If that makes sense.
I get it.
You know what I mean?
So it's taken me years to learn that too. But at the same time too, if you see something terrible happening to a kid, how do you feel?
See, that's just it. That hits too close to home, bro. Like, I'll
is that emotional though, or is it just like that's just like a line that
I think it's more like a resentment. And I was taught that a resentment is a negative feeling that you felt before that you feel over again. And so because of like my whole childhood thing, if I see somebody hurting a kid, I couldn't defend myself when I was that kid, but I can defend this kid. You know what I mean? So I think, and honestly, I know that it's not right. And I remember my dad when I was younger, because when I was younger, I was wild as shit. You know, I beat up the pizza man to take his pizza. You know, after my best friend died, I went off the rails, bro. Me and my brother went and fought 30 people at 1:30, bro. And like, it was like 100 yards away. I could have walked the other direction, but I walked straight into it like, fuck it, let's do it. You know what I mean? And I got beat up, and then we went back up and beat up the kids. You know, some old crazy shit. But that's the point, is that at that time, my dad told me, Eric, there's such thing as righteous anger. You know, you should have a focal point for your anger. You should have a rule, a place to put it. He said, because you can't just be raging out on people just to rage out on them. You know, so at that point, it kind of etched in my mind that, like, you got to have a code, you know, no women, no children.
Right.
It's, you know, don't let, and I've always hated bullies.
Again, it's the same thing. It's like, it's not necessarily learning off of emotions. It's just learning off of what you've been taught.
Yeah.
It wasn't there's certain behaviors. You got to learn behavior, and then you have basic savagery. You know, that's one reason I call this spanking monkeys for several reasons. We've talked about it before, you know, because we're crazy, stupid, whatever. But it's also that savagery that's in us. And you had to learn to be emotional. But I think I can relate to that in a little way, because understanding what an emotion is and being able to put a label to it is two different things. You know what I'm saying? I didn't understand what empathy was. Empathy, it sounds like sympathy to me. I felt sorry for somebody and I was like, what the fuck? But being able to be objective and put myself in somebody's shoes is a very powerful thing.
Yeah.
To be able to understand
where somebody else is coming from.
Even if it's just a little bit. But being able to say, damn, how would I feel if maybe somebody did that to me? When you can do that, it definitely changes how you treat people.
Oh, I agree. But also, I have to say that when you're inside, emotions are not a good thing to have.
No, absolutely
You
not.
know what I mean? So I think that also might be some of the institutionalization, like until I've been out for a minute and, you know, I can't. And I just say,
Yeah.
I'm hoping. This is a hope
It could
for me.
be too, though, man. But it's just like your relationship status has over the years say that you don't care.
Yeah, that's true. And, you know, the sad thing is my daughter's just like me, dude.
Yeah.
She absolutely does not give a fuck. And I try and tell her, like, you know, that's not a good way to be. But then I realize that she can't help it any more than I could.
Yeah.
You know what I mean? It is what it is.
It is what it is.
But, you know, like I said, hopefully I'm getting old now. And in my age, with age comes experience, comes wisdom, you know, and the same things that, you know, because I think for me, a lot of getting high and doing all that dumb shit was giving me emotions. It was making me feel some type of way. Bliss from the drugs, fear from getting caught, the adrenaline rush. You see what I'm saying? So it heightened everything. And, you know, my mom always said, Eric, there's a lot to be said for having a boring life. And I think I'm going to settle for that boring life because I'll be goddamned if I go back to prison, bro. Like, I've also found, I don't know why, but I don't have the desire to get high like I always used to. You know what I mean? Like, you know, I've had a couple.
I think that's going to be more of I think you're going to have to see how that works over time.
Oh, yeah.
Because your brain's still wired to want to get high. And I'm not saying that everything that you're going through should, that you don't have a right to. Because
right.
I would too. So
Yeah.
Straight up. But if we were in a different place and had the same situation, to be one of them people that says, I don't want no narcotics. Because if I do live through this, I don't want to be an addict again. Like, that's courage.
Yeah, without
I think
a doubt.
that's courage, man, and I don't have that.
I don't know that I'm going to do that.
No, because
like
you don't have it either, and neither one of us have it because we would rather get high and not feel the pain. And the idea of saying I'm going to go through this without that dulled pain, and we're not going to do
I'll
it.
tell you what. One thing I have found so far, like they did that biopsy in my neck. They were supposed to put me out for it, but they didn't. And I'll tell you what, that shit was so painful. So painful. They sucked out like a little piece of my lymph node. I can't even describe how weird that is, dude.
I can't even imagine.
But it hurt so fucking bad, dude, that like right after that, because I had thought about this, I was like, man, I'm in prison, man. I'm going to have to get surgeries and all kinds of crazy shit, man. You don't get dope in prison. You know what I mean?
Right.
So, like,
right, and there's fear in your eyes.
Yeah,
right now.
absolutely,
You're like, dude,
bro.
you're scared of that,
Oh
and
my
I would
God.
be too.
And look, at that point,
we don't want to go through
knew.
life without being high, much less going through the worst thing you possibly could
Yeah.
in life without it.
I mean,
that's terrifying.
Think about it. A lot of getting high is the fear of pain, whether it be emotional or physical. I don't want to feel. That's why I get high. You know what I mean? Like, you anesthetize yourself. And so at that point, I was like, look, man, I realized that there's no way, because I'd been clean the whole time I was in lockup there. I'd been clean, and I was feeling better for it. You know what I mean? Realizing that I don't need to be, you know, I don't want to be these dudes that are, you know, oh, I'm a drug addict, so I go to prison where I'm still a drug addict. I don't want to be in that revolving door. You know what I mean? Like,
any longer.
And
it's been there a while time. It's been there a long time. I stayed there for a long time too.
And I feel like everybody needs to hear one thing. It's that you're better than that. You know what I'm saying? They have to hear it and they got to feel it in themselves.
Yeah.
Before,
you got to have some type of
anywhere.
support, man.
Yeah, exactly.
You got to have somebody that's outside that wants you to do better.
Yeah.
What kills me is when I have these people and they have all the support and they don't even give a fuck.
Yeah. It's crazy. Like,
because I got a buddy that he don't care. Like, he'll smoke crack, then be clean for 2 months, and then he'll do a bunch of Xanaxes and just destroy shit, and then be clean for 2 months, maybe 6 months, maybe even
crazy.
get a job,
Yeah.
and then he'll start doing good, and then he'll fucking fail right over again, dude. Like,
know
every
exactly what
time
you're
he wants
talking
to
about.
do it, man.
Yep.
And it kills me because we've been friends for so many years, and I support him and try my best to help him and do things for him, and all he does is let me down.
Well, here's one of the things that I don't think anybody really thinks about is that, like, by going down that road, what keeps people from going down that self-destruct road is just giving a fuck, having a reason.
Yeah, a purpose
Exactly.
in life.
It's all it takes.
A reason
you know?
to not want to destroy what you have going on.
So since, okay, like, and just to put this out there, I'm in pain all the time. My neck always hurts every morning when I wake up. It's really unpleasant. And so they started giving me dope to fucking take the pain away. Oddly enough, I did some. I didn't like it.
Well, it was Percocets. That's not
Yeah.
dope. They gave you
Well,
Percocets.
yeah, Percocets.
It was
Well, I
only
mean,
5 milligrams.
Yeah,
but at the
5
same
milligram
time, too,
perks. And
you thought it was going to be so great.
I did. I really did. I thought it was going to be like way back when I used to take Percocets. Man, that shit made me itch and made me tired. But to be fair, it did kill some of the pain. It took the edge off, which is what it's supposed to do. So now I'm finding that these painkillers that we've abused for years, if you use them the right way, they're not fun, but they help.
Yeah, that's what they were made for. So
And-
yeah, man, long part of the story is, dude, it's like it's not worth it to just keep getting high. How many years have you spent in jail?
Total 6 now. I
How
think.
many years have you spent in addiction?
Eternity, it seems like. I mean, hell, I
Right.
was born hooked, so, I mean,
Yeah, man, I don't think it's the way to live.
I totally agree.
After watching those 2 shows, like I just finished Painkiller the other night. I've
gonna
been
have to
meaning
watch
to
them. I
do
saw
some
that
type
one.
of video on it because it definitely makes you feel some type of way. But after watching that, it makes me wonder. Now, I got mixed up with the wrong crowd. I did the wrong kind of stuff. You know, we started stealing and taking Percocets before, you know, Xanax and
Yeah.
before Xanax and Oxycontin and all that stuff was popular. It was
Right.
Valium and Percocet and Vicodin. So I did those things, but it made me wonder, like, would my addiction got out of control like it did without Oxycontin? Because there's no way you can use that much Vicodin. There's no way you can use that much
Poison yourself
Percocet.
first.
Can you become a habit? Yes. Can you become an addict off of it? Absolutely. What's that dude from Friends?
Yeah.
Look at him. He's a perfect example. But when you get to something that is 8, 16, and 32 of those pills in one little pill,
Yeah.
and there's no Tylenol, aspirin, or anything else, you can crush it, snort it, or shoot it, that has to send you way over the fucking
Without a
top,
doubt.
doesn't it?
Yeah, it definitely
Like, I
does.
mean, I feel like that was, for me, it was, let's be an addict and see how it works, and maybe I could have came out of it, but instead it was like, boom, let's shoot into the, you know, because that's like Dilaudid. It's like heroin. That was like the bottom. So, yeah, it makes me wonder about that. But anyways, it's like that vicious
We
cycle
know-
that keeps on
I
putting you
think-
in, man. It's so fucking hard to get out of.
I think, you know, in like the recovery people will tell you you're an addict for life. This is not something I agree with. I feel like you are whatever you choose to be.
Yeah.
You know, addiction can be part of your story, but it doesn't have to be the whole story.
Yeah, I'm not
you know?
not surrendering to anything that makes me weaker.
Well, and therein lies the thing too, is that I think that, you know, self-awareness is important. You know, if you realize that you have this debilitating, you know, disease, so to speak, like, so here's the problem, okay? I'm sober right now. If I pick dope up right now, you know what? I'll get high the first time. I'll love it. And if I keep doing it, I already know how the story ends. You know what I'm saying? So
It
really,
ends up with you feeling worse than you do now.
exactly.
And
So-
you have a habit every day that just,
So what makes me not go do it? I have to have a reason not to.
You have to know,
You know?
you have to know that that's where it ends every time too.
If you want to live, because I mean, this is a fact.
And
dude.
I've seen tons of pills. I've seen hundreds of Xanaxes not more than a year ago.
Dangerous, bro.
Hundreds of
Super
footballs.
dangerous.
And I'm like,
Yeah.
wow.
Yeah.
You know what I mean? There's a part of me that's like, bro, let me
give me
get
that,
But
yeah.
I didn't say nothing. I didn't fucking want one of them.
should be
You know what
proud.
I've seared in my head is that if you offer me a fucking Xanax, you're offering me to end my life.
Yeah.
Ruin my life. Here's what you say. Put the Xanax in your hand and say, here, do you want to ruin
already
your
know.
life?
And
Because
I'm not-
that's what you're saying. And I have to think in my head that every time I see one, it says ruin your life on it.
I'm not gonna lie, bro. If you were like, "Yo, here's a Xanny," I'd probably do it.
I know you would.
Yeah, I'm not. I don't have that.
I know you
that,
would.
That
that's
strength at the
that's
moment.
a problem, dude. That's a problem
see,
that it's hard to come over.
Yeah, I can't.
Because I went through the same shit for years. You know what I mean? I'd get out and be like, yo, yeah, I'm going to be clean. I'm not going to smoke cigarettes. I'm not going to.
whatever.
And then whatever. Next thing you know, somebody's smoking around me. Somebody's using around me. And now I'm getting high.
Mm-hmm.
I have learned how to not do that. And I'm not surrounding myself by people
Yeah.
that get high.
Yeah, I'm with
But when I do see someone that uses some of those things, or I'm not like, yo, you got some of that?
Yeah,
I'm
yeah.
not like, yo,
well,
can
I mean,
get
probably,
some?
You probably put enough time between the last time you did it and now
Yeah,
to
it's
where
been a
you know
while.
it kind of you build up like almost like an immunity in your soul where you're like, okay, look, I don't.
The
want
more
this.
distance you get between
Yeah.
you and the drug is definitely the best.
Yeah, yeah,
That is
'cause-
definitely a thing for sure.
Well, I mean, I remember being taught about post-acute withdrawal. Post-acute withdrawal means that you will have that obsession for your drug, like cocaine, the obsession itself doesn't go away in your mind for 9 months. You have to be sober for 9 months for that to go away.
That makes sense.
You know what I mean? And these
I come
things
off
like
of methadone, it felt like
yeah.
It felt like 9 to 10 months.
Yeah, and your brain just always wants it. You know what I mean?
Yeah.
Like you just said Xanax, bro, and I'm not gonna lie, my dick got a little hard.
Right.
You know what I'm saying? But I don't. Do I actually want it? No, I don't. But the fact is, I know I love Xannies.
And see,
you know
I guess
saying?
like when you say that, it makes me think instantly, what is my instant thought when someone mentions it? And it's not joy.
Yeah,
For me, it's not.
Yeah, you're already going all the way to the end of the story where you know how it ends.
Yes, I play.
You know what I mean?
I'm playing the ending before I play the beginning.
And all
Yeah,
I'm
that's a good
thinking
point.
about is that comfortably numb.
Yeah.
It's crazy. Well,
a good
maybe,
point.
with more time, after I've, been out and I've been doing all right, maybe
And I
that'll
guess
change.
another thing too is it's just like for the other dude we was talking about earlier, he can use and not go to jail.
I don't know how that works.
I don't know how that works.
My shit
either.
always ends in jail.
I'm
bro.
always going to jail. I'm always going to jail. He can cheat and be taken care of. Whereas for me, I have to cheat for me, and I'm going to do Xanaxes, and then my body keeps going, but my brain don't work.
Bro, it's crazy. And, for somebody that's a mastermind criminal, bro, I always get caught.
I know.
Always.
I've gotten away with a lot of shit too, but that's not the point.
But not anymore.
It's not worth it in the end.
It really is.
I wish I would have taken my life and started doing what I'm doing now 20 years ago. And I don't just mean with YouTube or whatever this is. I just mean with getting up and having a purpose and wanting to further myself, wanting to better myself, wanting to have more. And that's not necessarily more money, but it's more security.
I get it.
I want security. I want to be secure in life. I don't want to be worried.
I feel like right now, I'm in limbo, bro. It sucks. You know what I mean? Because normally, me, I get out and immediately I'm on my grind. We're going back to work immediately. Last time it was 3 days.
Right.
You know what I mean? And me and you were working together again, getting paid, living good, going to the gym all the time and shit. And right now, I'm just kind of man, I don't even know what to do with myself.
Yeah, you don't know where to go. Well, either way, I think you need to find something. I think we're going to be a part of this right here because we're going to go right now and go buy a bunch of noodles for this crazy ass fucking video that I'm going to do Saturday.
Awesome.
I hope it works out the way I want it to.
I feel like I'm going to be pulling noodles out of my crack and stuff afterwards, dude. It's going to be weird.
Yeah, I think there'll probably be some in your ears. And there might be some weird places.
Gonna have to do the
but we
earplugs.
can get a butt plug and just kind of
whoa. Can I borrow yours?
Mine's probably too big for you.